I was sitting on a dust-covered crate, 7,000 miles from home, when the email came through. Subject line, important update. Just 8 words in the body. 8 carefully chosen words that detonated 12 years of marriage in a single instant. I'm filing for divorce. I've emptied our accounts. I've moved on. Please don't contact me. No explanation. No hesitation. Just done. I stared at the screen for a full minute, frozen in place while the desert sun blazed down on Kandahar. Around me, soldiers cleaned rifles, cracked jokes, smoke like the war would wait for them. They didn't notice anything different about me. I didn't flinch. I didn't cry. I typed 2 words. Understood. That was the moment something inside me shifted, like a steel trap snapping shut. Kandahar is a furnace. Dry, blistering, suffocating. Dust in your teeth. Gunpowder in your nostrils. Death just beyond the wire. You learn to control your emotions here. No room for panic. You act. You never react. Funny how war teaches you discipline. Funnier still how the enemy isn't always the one holding the AK. Amanda and I had married young. She was sunshine. She laughed at bad movies, made pancakes on Sundays, kissed me like I was her whole world. Or so I thought, at the airport before deployment. She cried, clung to me like she'd never let go, whispered, "Come home safe." She never mentioned someone else was already keeping her bed warm. Never mentioned she'd drain our joint accounts while I was dodging mortars and IEDs. Didn't mention the new boyfriend was moving into the house I paid off with combat pay. No hint, no warning, just cold betrayal. Looking back, the signs were there. Video calls that got shorter, excuses that got longer, bad connection, busy at work, just tired, then silence, days without a word, weeks. When I asked what was wrong, she said I was paranoid. That was her mistake. Thinking distance meant helplessness. She forgot who I was before the uniform. I wasn't just some grunt on a front line. I was a logistics officer, strategic operations. I didn't just follow orders. I built the plans others followed. I knew how to move pieces in silence, how to dismantle problems before anyone even saw them coming. So I got to work. Step 1, I contacted a lawyer, not just any divorce attorney, a specialist, quiet, ruthless, ex-military, the kind of man who understood battlefields, domestic or otherwise. Step 2, I traced every dollar, pulled every record, bank statements, credit card logs, digital receipts. She hadn't been subtle. New furniture, jewelry, hotel stays, a brand new car for him, all of it bought with my money. Step 3, I locked it all down. The house was solely in my name, bought before we married, legally untouchable. She thought she emptied the accounts, but the real money, my savings, my military investments, my retirement funds, she didn't even know existed. All frozen, benefits redirected. She thought she bled me dry. She hadn't even scratched the surface. Then I set the trap. I hired a private investigator, worth every penny. He followed her, photographed her, captured videos. There they were, together, in my truck, on my couch, sleeping in my bed. She even wore my old shirt. Betrayal hits different when you can pause it frame by frame. I waited, let her feel safe, let her believe she'd won. She filed a divorce in absentia. Probably thought I was too distracted overseas to contest it. Cute. The day I touched back on U.S. soil, I didn't go home. I went to court. My lawyer had already filed everything. Evidence, financial records, proof of infidelity, misuse of marital assets, legally called marital waste. Judges hate that. Amanda didn't show. Thought it was uncontested. Big mistake. A week later, a sheriff served a ruling. Her boyfriend answered the door, smug, oblivious, until the papers hit his hand. Eviction notice. 30 days. No negotiation. Amanda called me that night. The first time I'd heard her voice in months. She sounded rattled, desperate. What is this? You can't just... I cut her off. Calm, measured. Check your email. The court order was attached. House, mine. She had 30 days to vacate. Car, repossessed. It had been purchased with misappropriated funds. Joint account. She was ordered to repay every cent she stole, plus penalties. Alimony, denied, grounds of adultery. Legal fees, hers, every single dime. She tried to fight it, filed motions, pleaded, screamed. None of it mattered. The evidence was airtight, overwhelming. The boyfriend moved out 2 weeks later. Guess freeloading isn't as fun when the gravy train derails. One afternoon, I came by to collect a few things. She was sitting on the porch, hollow-eyed, staring at the ground like it might open up and swallow her. She looked at me like she didn't recognize the man standing there. You just said understood, she whispered. I nodded. I did, and I do understand. I walked past her without another word. The house is quiet now, peaceful. I replaced the furniture, burned the old mattress, scrubbed the walls until they smelled like fresh paint. I got a dog. Started over. Freedom doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the soft thud of a closing door. Sometimes it's silence. People think revenge is fire and fury, screaming broken plates, fireworks of rage. They're wrong. The best revenge is surgical. Quiet. Clean. You don't throw punches. You just remove the ground beneath their feet. And by the time they realize they're falling, it's already far, far too late.